We'd done a lot of work with Northacre, who were the developer. Straight away I saw it, I knew it was just a fantastic opportunity. The gardens had been done in the 1970s. It was a really high profile and highly charged project. So we had to get it right. Given that it was going to get all that attention, we had to come up with some design proposals that were going to excel people's expectations rather than just meet them. Client's brief to us was pretty short. Do what you do. The first thing that we started doing was historical research. There was a fair amount of documented research about the Lancasters. It was one of two terraces that were built in the 1840s, 1850s. In terms of architectural history, it was quite important, but we also looked into the history of the architecture, and we felt, when we first started looking at this, that the terrace sat there a bit like a seafront building. The way it looked out over the park, it had this very grand facade, quite different from a lot of other London streets. And when I started looking at hotels in Cannes on the Corniche, which are very, very similar, and it was only later, when I started doing more research, that I discovered that the architect was quite influenced by French architecture. A whole idea of how the building addressed the park and the gardens were part of that, and the flamboyance of the building, that underpinned the design. It was also stolidly Victorian as well, and so we drew on twin themes of Victorian motifs and patterns that we researched from pattern books and from tiles and book leaf covers and all sorts of different sources. We ended up with a sort of swirling design that ran all the way up the front of the terrace. But unlike a parterre garden, this was quite uncontrolled, quite anarchic in many ways, and the sizes of the pieces varied. So it was quite a contemporary take on a very traditional form. It's a scheme that refuses to be defined. I bet if you showed that design, if you walk people around that design, 10 different people, they come up with 10 completely different interpretations of what it is. I think that's great. It's a design that's full of contrasts. It was such a huge project that there were many layers of management, and so we had to do the design in such a way that it was documented and clear exactly what we wanted to achieve. So in terms of how we specified the soil, how we specified the plants and everything else, it had to be done down to the last screw, as I said, the size and shape of the grains of sand. And the end result was that it was built almost perfectly. There were very few hiccups, but there was a lot of background work by us to get to that point. I think it's a really good example of our work because it demonstrates how we react differently to every project. To just reapply the same design solutions or the same design style to projects one after another seems to me to miss the point of design, really. Each project is a unique reaction to that combination of point in time, client, site, designer. You bring all those things together and you can produce something really exciting.